That can't be settled by Midas law.
Back to the Ponderosa, Pa. This isn't any of our affair.
Oh, son, we can't ignore the rest of the world. We're the only stabilizing influence in the country.
Yeah, well, you sure stabilized that one, Pa.
Are you, all right, miss?
Hey, Pa.
What is it?
The dead man.
Who is it, miss?
It's himself.
Himself?
Me sainted father, Kevin O'Toole.
Are you able to tell us about it?
Cooking breakfast I was this morning on me mother's stove. Himself was a great one for hot cakes. He strangled and died.
From the hotcakes, ma'am?
Do you question my cooking? The hotcakes, he says. 'Twas the air that choked him, just as he said it would. Annie, he says to me, one whiff of that heathen air and I'll die. He said it and he did it. Thank you, I'm all right. He wouldn't want me grieving. As a matter of fact, I'm proud of him.
Proud of him?
Why not? It's the first time in his life himself ever did exactly what he said he'd do.
Well, we're all dreadfully sorry, miss. If we could offer you the hospitality of our ranch until you return home.
Why, don't you talk grand, though. Oh, thank you. I'll be staying here.
Here in Washoe Diggins?
Half a minute.
You know a man named Swede Lundberg?
Know him? Many's the time I've knocked the corners from his head with a skillet. I know him. Now, will someone guide me?
All right.
No, maybe you better go with the horse. This is my brother, Miss O'Toole. He'll see that no harm comes to you.
My, ain't you the big one, though? Thank you.
There'll be no more of that.
Oh, won't there? That woodpecker of a Simpson jumped my claim. Now, stop it now.
Now, in the absence of formal law, you still have your miners' law.
But who's to enforce it or decide on it?
Appoint yourselves a referee. Or if you have a serious dispute, hold a miners' court.
I'll hold with that. But there ain't anybody around here I can trust. Except Ben Cartwright himself.
Thank you, fellas. Thank you, Clayton. But I'm afraid my time is fully occupied.
Well, we'll vote on it. All those in favor of Ben Cartwright acting as dispute referee, speak up.
Gentlemen, please. Well, if you feel that I can help settle your current disputes, but remember, it's only a temporary arrangement until you find somebody permanent.
All right.
Looks like you got yourself a job, Pa.
So have you, younger brother. You get yourself back to the ranch and see how the boys are doing with the cattle branding.
And just what'll you be doing?
Well, I'm going to get that girl out of town before we get into a dispute that even Pa can't settle.
Best I could do, ma'am.
Thank you. Oh, it's a fine view. Himself will like it once he gets used to it.
Yes, sir.
Oh, all this hard work in the heat of the day. You poor man, you must be starved.
Well, I can always eat, ma'am. If it ain't no bother.
Oh, on that stove a bother? Why, it's like a friend to me. It's one thing I understand complete. Thank you.
Well, Hoss, looks like you took care of things.
I had to put him someplace, Adam.
Well, I guess it really doesn't matter.
Well, now, Mr. High and Mighty, it matters a lot to me.
I really meant no disrespect, miss. It's just that, well, we hadn't fully checked your claim. You see, Swede Lundberg had 2 claims.
And this is one of them. And it's here I am, and here I stay.
Miss O'Toole, I assure you, my only concern is for your welfare.
Shoo that one again.
What?
Speak plain, to the point.
Then I'll do exactly that. You're the only woman in this camp. These are rough men.
Oh, and it's milksops I'm used to on the Barbary Coast, is it?
All I'm saying is it's no place for a nice, charming lady.
Oh, now, thank you very much for the compliment, but don't you worry about me. I can cut the whiskers from a cat with a skillet without even disturbing its slumber. Now, you were saying...
I was saying that I want you to get out of here and go back to San Francisco.
And leave himself alone in a heathen place? Why, there hasn't been a day of my life I haven't taken care of him. It's here I stay.
Ma'am, my brother Adam always knows what's best.
Oh, I suppose I have no choice. There's bare enough food in the wagon to last the day. And there you stand, you poor man, starving in your tracks while I babble on. Here we go now. Thank you very much.
Miss O'Toole, if it's money you need.
And who don't?
Well, I'd be glad to give you enough money to get you back to San Francisco.
Mr. Adam, I'll have you know, I don't take money from no strangers. The shame of you talking like that in front of himself.
I only meant...
I've got an idea what you meant, and you'd best be learning some manners from your big brother here. Now you take yourself out the way you came in. I promised your brother Mulligan, and Mulligan he shall have. Oh, himself loved me Mulligan almost as well as he loved his bottle.
Woman cooking, that's what it is. Woman cooking, come on.
Oh, you poor starving dears. Listen, if you'll all pitch in together and get me a big pot and some spuds and onions.
Onions? Miss, if there was an onion in this camp, it could be traded for the richest claim on the Washoe. Salt pork is all you'll find around here.
Miss O'Toole, if you won't accept money from me...
You trying something with this lady?
But he ain't getting no place with it.
I'm only trying to help her.
I told you I don't take money from no strangers.
Who's offering you money? Now, I was watching these men and their interest in your culinary arts.
Watch your tongue.
Would you feed them for, say, $1 a meal?
At $1.50, I would. Ah, but where am I going to get enough food for all these hungry mouths?
Well, now, that's what I'm telling you. Now, I have plenty of supplies on the Ponderosa. Now, I could give you enough to cook one big meal for the whole camp. And on the proceeds, you could return to San Francisco.
What sort of supplies?
Oh, ham, fresh eggs, beef.
Oh, how can I turn them down, the poor starving dears?
Then it's a deal.
On one condition.
What?
That you come in as my partner.
Oh, now, that won't be necessary.
Then the deal's off.
Oh, all right.
Oh, a lovely thing it is. Adam, you're a darling man. And to think I took you for a snibberblot.
A what?
A snibberblot. 'Twas a saying himself had for the nabobs that lived on the hill and looked down their noses at us on the Barbary coast. I mean no offense. It's just your grand manner. But, Adam, you have a heart, and I could kiss you for it.
We'll need a name for the place, a menu with prices.
First, you want me to round up the cows. Then I get word you want me to empty the storehouse and bring everything here. Will you make up your mind?
Well, you just get on back to the cows. This is all you'll be hauling.
Whoop.
Just what's this all about?
Miss Annie said that 2 wagon loads would be better than 1.
And who told you to take orders from Annie?
Ain't she your partner?
For this 1 load, for 1 batch of meals, and then back she goes to San Francisco.
Now, Adam, the men are pretty excited about the eating place they got here, and they ain't gonna like it much if you close it up before it even gets open.
Well, I don't care whether they like it or not.
There's one easy way to solve all this. Just let older brother do all the cooking himself.
There's one thing I want straight around here. We're going to raise enough money to get you back to San Francisco, and that's it. No more. Is that clear?
Yes, Adam.
And where in thunderation do you get off and telling Horse to bring a 2nd load of goods?
And where do you get off telling me how much supplies it takes to feed 100 men?
100 men?
They're coming down from the hills, a dozen at a time.
Well, this is all. Understand? Absolutely all. Well, where's the bill of fare?
Adam, I can't write. There you are. A snibberblot, and I knew it. It ain't like I didn't want to have learning. So don't stand there and look down your nose at me.
Annie, I wasn't criticizing you.
You was, too. You with your fine words and your grand airs.
Oh, really, what difference does it make? Now, just by luck, I happen to know how to write. We're partners, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, what's the name of our grand establishment?
The square meal, that's what they all say. You know, I could have learned to write if I'd had a chance.
Of course you could. There we are. How do you like that?
My, ain't it grand and scrawly. Adam, could you learn me to write it out like that?
Sure I could. Now for the bill of fare. Let's see, ham and eggs and potatoes, $1.
$1.50. I ought to learn numbers first. Adam, could you learn me numbers?
Sure I could. $1.50?
Make it $2. $1.50 for mulligan by the plate. Being in business, it's good for me to know numbers. Adam, could you really learn me to write numbers?
Could I teach you?
I don't know, could you? Oh, $2 for the stew.
Supplies are all unloaded, Mr. Delmonico.
Oh, himself will be so proud of me, being in business with such fine gentlemen. Adam, we're running out of wood. Will you cut some?
Oh, I guess Annie doesn't know how scarce wood is around here. I brought some from the Ponderosa right here in the wagon. Start cutting it.
Adam.
Yeah?
Look, in spite of me ways, there's a heart in me. I mean himself. But you see, he wouldn't want me grieving. Adam, you're a good, kind man.
I'm doing no more than anyone else would do, Annie.
But you are, offering to learn me figures and how to write and all that and to speak like a real lady. You and me is going to make $1 million.
You and I.
That's right, darling. The both of us.
The Square Meal restaurant was a howling success. And by the end of the first week, Annie O'Toole had enough money to take her back to San Francisco in style. But Annie showed no inclination to leave. And I discovered that although she couldn't write writin', as she put it, she did have quite an eye for business.
now.
No, Annie. I don't want any of the money because if you take the money, I got to get you back to San Francisco.
Now, listen to me, Adam. You're going to...
I tried my best to get out of that partnership with Annie, but Annie wouldn't hear of it.
My darling.
Pa, too, had gotten in a lot deeper than he had planned. I decided it was time for all of us to get out of here and get back to Ponderosa where we belong.
Well, Shimella, you know like a house-sing cooking? You like a Missy Annie O2. All right, I quit.
Simmer down, Hop. Sing, will you? Got enough trouble with that woman as it is.
Why don't you marry her, Adam? Save us all this trouble.
You know, if she doesn't stop grubstaking every miner that comes along, she'll wind up owning half the Comstock.
Hey, you know, you're making more money by accident than most men make on purpose, you know.
I tell you, I'm not her partner.
No, well, don't tell me. Tell her.
Boy, she can sure cook.
You go her house eat. You know like a house-sing cooking.
Now, wait a minute, Hop Sing. That isn't what I meant. That ain't what I meant. Mr. Cartwright, I can talk to you.
Sweet, when'd you get back? Come on in.
Well, I've been back a couple of days.
Sit down.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, am I glad to see you. We have a mutual friend in town, Annie O'Toole.
Well, this here's what I come to talk about. They tell me you settled all the complaints, Mr. Cartwright.
Oh, just trying to establish some degree of order. Oh, what's wrong, Sweet?
Well, you see, when I left here, I staked out 2 claims. And the one I give to Annie and the other I sell in San Francisco.
What's the difficulty?
Well, I don't know which one I give to Annie or which one I sell.
Well, that should be simple enough. Annie has her claim, and I assume the man you sold to has his.
Adam, have you ever tried to reason with Annie O'Toole?
Well, I guess we ought to look into it, Pa.
All right.
Well, Miss Cartwright, it seems clear enough, doesn't it? I'm obviously the legal owner of the Sweet Lumber Claim Number 2.
Yes, it would seem so, Mr. Spain. And by simple process of elimination, Annie O'Toole must own Sweet Lumber Claim Number 1.
Yes. Then I insist you throw her off my property.
Mr. Spain, we're not here to throw people out. We're here to settle disputes. Maybe we talk to Annie about this.
Oh, so it's you again, is it?
Now, Annie, we just want to get this thing straightened out. Mr. Spain here is...
Oh, Mr. Spain, is it? Ain't we grand since we moved to Nob Hill? Mr. Gregory Spain. Trapdoor Gregory he was when I knew him.
Let's stick to the facts.
The fact you'll have. The biggest thug and Shanghai artist on the Barbary Coast he was. Mr. Trapdoor Gregory.
Must I listen to this witch?
You be careful what you call her.
And ain't you the fine one, trading your claim to this scum here for a bottle of whiskey?
And it wasn't a bottle, it was a keg. And, well, it was for himself. Sort of a wake, it was.
Oh, a wake, was it? Why, you didn't even know himself had passed to his reward.
All very interesting. Get them out of here. I'll get a crew in here, tear down this restaurant. The grave has to be moved, of course.
You snibberblot! You miserable little snibberblot! Putting on airs with me! I knew you when you was picking pockets off drunks in the gutters, I did. And didn't himself go to work for you when you first got into the Shanghai business? Springing the trapdoors he did, under the bar stools. The best trapdoor springer you ever had. You said so yourself. And did he ever come home with $1 in his jeans? No, he didn't. You paid him his wages in whiskey, you did.
No, keep her away from me.
Ah, he ain't even worth denting me pan on.
Sweet, is this claim number 2? Or ain't it?
Well, I think so. I just don't remember.
You don't remember?
Well, I was sort of excited.
You was drunk, that's what you was.
Annie, get your claim notice. Now, this is claim number 2, and your notice says claim number 1, then I'm afraid you're on the wrong property.
Oh, Adam, Don't let him move himself from his resting place.
Annie, we may have to.
I won't do it.
Please. Annie, get your claim notice.
Claim number 2, you say. You read it, Adam. You know how poor I am at reading.
Spain, let me see your claim, please.
They're both for claim number 2.
What? You altered yours. It's a forgery. I'll throw you out of here and himself along with you.
No, this can all be settled, but not in this manner. Come along, Mr. Spade.
Oh,
Annie, this will get you no place.
Gregory Spain, snibberblot, thief, crook. That's what he is, accusing me.
Annie, one of these claim numbers has been altered.
Oh, Adam, I just don't understand business.
Annie, did you change your claim number?
Oh, how could I do it?
Now, the claims are done with Roman numerals.
I don't know nothing about it. I never met a Roman in my life.
Annie, is that what you did?
Adam, you know I can't write.
Oh, all right, forget it. Pa and I will straighten it out.
Don't you worry about it, darling. For 10 years, I've been waiting to get trapdog Gregory in me clutches. The way he done you out of your wages. And you the best trapdoor springer he ever had. Don't you worry about it. They won't be disturbing your rest. Not unless that trapdoor Gregory pays for it, they won't.
I demand my rights.
All right. Now, Swede, surely there must be some way you can remember. Which stake did you claim out first? That would be claim number 1, wouldn't it?
I just don't remember. No, that wasn't it. I think I got it. I think I know. I left my tools on claim number 2. I picked my shovel, and then I got excited.
You got drunk.
Then wherever we find the tools, that's claim number 2.
And that's my claim.
Can you identify the tools?
Well, yeah, sure. I got the first letters of my name burned in the handles.
Will that satisfy you, Annie?
Oh, sure, Adam. Oh, I only want to do what's fair. Well, I'd best be getting back to the restaurant.
All right. Now, quiet for a minute. Here's what we'll do. You'll go down to the claim and take a look. And if the tools are there, that'll be claim number 2. Agreed? All right.
I sure hope those tools aren't on Annie's claim. Spain's a crook if I ever saw one.
There's some tools over there, all right. I used a pick and a shovel when I dug that grave.
I was afraid of that.
All right, let's get at it.
No, listen, darlings, listen. You can't go looking for tools on empty stomachs. Give me 1 minute, and I'll get the mulligan pot going.
No, we didn't come here to eat. We came here to see justice.
Sit down. You'll get what's coming to you.
I wish you would.
All right, Annie, bring on the food. We're all for you.
I ain't hungry.
Annie, you promise you will abide by our decision.
Oh, yes, I will, Adam. That trapdoor makes me mad, strutting around like a peacock. Just because he's moved on to Nob Hill, he thinks he's a big typhoon.
Tycoon. A typhoon is a big wind.
That's him.
Just don't understand it. I know there was a pick and shovel back there.
She stole them, I tell you. That's what she did. She's trying to do me out of what's mine.
Oh, quit whining, will you? We looked, didn't we?
What's the matter, Mr. Spain? You got that other claim. Why don't you go on over there and take it?
I ain't through with you yet, Annie O'Toole. I'll have what's mine.
Why don't you go spring a trapdoor?
Come on, little Joe.
Goodbye, ma'am.
Annie, I don't know what your game is.
There you go, suspecting me. And me figuring the only man I could count on were you.
Was you?
Well, you wasn't. Oh, Adam. I've known Trapdoor almost all me life. A cutthroat, thief, that's what he is.
Oh, I can believe that. And that's why I hate to see you antagonize him. Now, look, Swede's other claim is near here. Why don't we get the men and just move the restaurant?
But what about himself?
There'd be no need to disturb the grave.
And have him know that Trapdoor was trampling all over him? Oh, himself would be turning end for end. He'd be that upset. Oh, now, Adam, why do you doubt me? You seen me claim notice today, didn't you? Didn't it have the right number? And did they find the Swedes pick and axe and shovel? No, I ask you, did they? There's such a shortage of wood around here.
Sure there is. Looks like Spain's getting himself a crew.
Yeah, he's been at it for the last hour. Must have talked to 10 or 12 men.
Yeah, he sure knows how to pick the tough ones, too.
Maybe they've decided to work claim number one.
I doubt it.
Why don't they just trade claims? After all, one's just about like another, and besides, Annie has a father buried over there. Isn't anything sacred around here?
Not where silver is concerned. It would seem that Mr. Kevin himself O'Toole is buried atop the richest strike ever made in the Washington.
Keeping the news of the big strike quiet is about as easy as hiding an elephant under a walnut shell. Everyone wanted in on it. From the looks of it, Annie was getting her share of the bonanza, too.
Go ahead with your eating, gentlemen. You won't disturb us one bit.
Now, look, Spain, if you think you can run Annie off her claim...
Her claim, Mr. Cartwright? Sweet. Will you show me just where you dug your shaft when you made your required improvements?
Improvements? Improvements? I guess I didn't make none. I just knocked a hunk of assay rock off the ledge.
That's right, Sweet. You didn't make any improvements. And according to miner's law, in which you Cartwrights put such great stock, if the improvements are not made within 10 days, the claim is considered abandoned. And also, according to that same miner's law, it would be perfectly legal for me to shoot any man who tried to jump my claim. Get to work, gentlemen.
Adam, can't you stop them? They're busting up the place. Ooh.
An experimental hole, gentlemen. It's only a very small charge of powder, but perhaps you should stand back.
Give him the heave-ho! Give it to him!
It's only fool's luck that someone wasn't killed. And unless this thing is settled, someone will be.
It's already settled. That's my claim, and she's on it, and I mean to throw her off.
Quiet! Quiet, all of you! All of you! Now, we had some semblance of law and order started here. Let's don't lose it. Now, the way I see it, the only way to settle this is to hold a miners' court. Hear all the evidence. Everyone in camp acts as jury.
I'll give you his evidence. Trapdoor Gregory is a pickpocket what made good, and that's all he is.
Miss O'Toole.
I wouldn't take his word for the time of day.
Annie, will you please be quiet? Now, Pa, I think the miners' court's the right thing to do.
You have no right to think.
But, Pa, it's me, Adam.
As far as I'm concerned, young man, you are the partner of the defendant. And if you say one more word to me before the trial, I'll fine you for trying to influence the referee.
Adam, we have enough money. Let's buy us another judge.
Annie.
I was only trying to help.
Will you stop trying to help before you land the both of us in jail?
Mr. Spain, how about you? Do you agree to the miners' court?
Plaintiff agrees.
Miss O'Toole?
I think you're a sniveler.
Miss O'Toole agrees.
All right. Now you have a half hour to prepare your cases.
Annie, I may as well tell you right out. I don't think you have any legal right to this claim.
Well, Adam, I wasn't thinking of legal rights. I was just trying to think about human rights. You know, I'm human, same as anybody else.
Of course you are, Annie.
Oh, I don't mean to complain, Adam. But all these years I've worked hard, dreaming of one thing. That someday I'd get to live like a lady.
Annie, why didn't you get married?
Oh, I wanted to. But nobody ever asked me. Adam, you won't walk out on me now, will you?
Don't you worry. I'm not going to walk out on you.
Because I wouldn't know what to say at the trial. Your pa, as good a man as he is, terrifies me with his ways.
I'll speak for you.
You will. You darling, you.
Well, I got word you wanted to see me. Is there any charge for this here show?
Well, sweet, I just wanted to talk to you.
Yeah, sure. As soon as you get through lollygagging and kissing around, yeah?
Now, sweet, listen.
Just a minute, Swede Lundberg. Don't you get snibberblot with me.
Me, Snibberblot? Well, how about you? You and your talk about marriage all the time. In the fine house, and you're going to make a fine gentleman out of me.
Sweet, listen.
And a sorry task it would be.
Well, don't you bother. You found a fine gentleman, a real fine one.
Indeed, I did find a fine one.
Well, then why don't you marry him? That's what you wanted.
Sweet.
Go ahead, see if I care.
Sweet,
But
listen.
Sweet.
Now, sweet, listen.
I ought to punch you right in the nose.
Things look bad for Annie, Adam.
We've been keeping an eye on Spain. He's been buying liquor and bribing every drunk in town.
There's more of those than there are the others. Looks like you got yourself a paid-off jury, older brother.
Court will come to order.
Take off your hats.
Mr. Gregory Spain.
Your hat.
My case is simple, and I throw myself entirely on the mercy of these honest men and the honorable judge. I make no claims. I ask only that the law of abandonment be upheld. The assessment work ain't been done on the claim in question.
He's right.
That's all I got to say.
Your hat.
Miss Annie O'Toole. Miss O'Toole.
Adam, I need you.
Miss O'Toole.
Please.
As one of the partners of Cartwright and O'Toole, I'll present our case. Now, the whole point here seems to be that no assessment work was done. Well, I submit it was. May I call a witness, Your Honor? Thank you. Horst Cartwright. Now, Horst, did you or did you not dig an exploration shaft on the disputed claim the very first day Miss O'Toole came to Virginia City?
Yeah. Yeah, I dug a hole. It's
Just answer the question.
Yes, sir. I dug a hole 6 foot deep, 6 feet long, and 3 foot wide.
Gentlemen, that satisfies the requirements. And there's not a thing in miner's law that says you can't bury a body in an exploration shaft and then fill it back up again. Gentlemen, I ask that you rule in favor of Miss Annie O'Toole. The assessment work was done.
Court's adjourned.
You're a thief and a crook.
It takes one to recognize one.
I can't fight the whole camp. I know I'm buying my own claim, but I'll give you $5,000 in cash.
Trapdoor. You think I disturb himself from his resting place for money? I wouldn't dream of it. At least not for that amount.
You will excuse us.
Think of him sleeping there, right on top of $1 million and not making a move to do anything about it.
And him who never before had a dime in his jeans.
Annie, if you'll only sell it to me.
I'll not disturb himself.
$7,500. $10,000 in cash.
Trapdoor. You should never have done himself out of his rightful wages. I've a hunch he'll never listen to you until the price is twice the amount.
Why don't you go out and get a gun and rob stagecoaches?
I seem to be doing all right without it.
So I said this fella, you're gonna die.
Hey, Hop, say, is this what you do on your day off?
Missy Annie teach Hop-Sing make a very fine Chinese dish, Hong Kong Mulligan. Bye, you no have a common restaurant no more.
Oh, you're doing fine.
Annie, $25,000.
I'll speak to himself about it.
I had finally convinced her I no longer wanted to be a partner in the restaurant. But I kept getting indications that I was still involved.
Hey! Why didn't you tell us, Adam?
You and Annie ain't wonderful.
What are you talking
Hey, can you imagine, Pa, Adam and Annie getting married?
Adam and Annie?
Yeah.
Where's that Swede?
Oh, he went prospecting.
Prospecting where?
I don't know. I think he said Africa.
Africa?
Son, how far's this thing gone?
It hasn't gone anywhere, but it's about to.
Adam, don't you hurt Annie's feelings.
It wasn't her feelings I was thinking about hurting. Annie, what's this about a wedding?
How can there be a wedding when I don't even know where the Swede went?
Oh, the Swede.
Adam, he's still mad at me for what I done. Said he never wanted to see me again. And me loving him all these years, selling his claim for him. And getting all this money for him, too. Just you wait and see. There.
Annie, where did you get all this?
Trapdoor Gregory. I sold out to him. For this and the best funeral for himself that money can buy.
Well, there must be $20,000 here.
Well, 25. This is the first down payment. You see, I get 5% of the gross take of the mine for the rest of me natural life. Oh, I tried hard to learn business from you, Adam. I hope I done good.
5% of the gross. Annie, you've done real good.
I done it for Swede.
You did it.
That I did. But it's no more than fair. It's what he should have had in the first place. Oh, Adam. I was going to move himself onto the other claim. The Swede and me was going to get married. I was going to build a fine mansion and live like a real lady. And now the Swede has gone off and left me.
Oh, don't you worry, Annie. I'll take care of everything for old time's sake.
Do you really think you could?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're a darling man.
It took a bit of doing, but we did it. And it was quite a day. Kevin himself, O'Toole, had a funeral the Comstock would remember for a long time to come. And to make it stick in everyone's mind, it was the day Virginia City got its first fire engine. But what really made it such a grand day was the fact that Trapdoor Gregory Spain paid for every bit of it.
Would you turn him around so he can see the new saloons? Then he'll know he's not in a heathen land.
No, not again. Gregory Spain's Lundberg number 1 became a famous mine. But it wasn't 1/10 as rich as the one on the Swede's other claim, which turned into one of the most fabulous strikes of the whole Comstock lode. The Swede? No, he hadn't gone to Africa at all. It meant roisting every saloon on the Barbary Coast, but we finally found him and even dried him out. And after paying their respects to himself and his ever-loving monument, the Lucky Stiff Mine, Mr. and Mrs. Lundberg embarked on a trip to Europe to soak up culture and achieve Annie's dream of really becoming a lady. And when they came back, Annie and the Swede built themselves a great mansion on the road between Virginia City and Reno. And I wouldn't be surprised if that mansion would still be there 100 years from today.
What's this for?
Because I love you. And because this is my engagement party. Now remember, you promised no talking about mine business tonight. Promise?
I promise.
Well, here he is.
How did you ever pry him away?
It wasn't too hard to do.
Well, I told him if he didn't come to this party, I'd refuse to be best man and marry you myself.
I didn't want to take that chance.
Forget about being superintendent for one night, Gil. The mine will run all right without you. I sent the night shift back to work on the 3rd level.
You what? I told you we couldn't work the 3rd level without new timbering.
Dad, you promised no mine talk.
Gil, cave in, 3rd level. The whole shift is trapped.
All right, everybody, stand back. Give us room.
My boy. Where's my boy?
It's all right, Mary. I'll find him.
Mr. Holloway, you promised us new safety timbering.
I'm doing all I can. Come on, dear. You ought to go home.
It's all right. You'll be all right. I know
You said that 3rd level wasn't safe, but you sent the shift in anyway. You said yourself it wasn't safe.
Get out of the way, Tregellis.
You used to be one of us. Now you're marrying Holloway's daughter.
Gil's doing everything he can for Gallus.
When? Like always? When it's too late? My kid brother's down there. Now you get out of my way, Cartwright.
All right, stand back. Keep on back. It's coming up now. Give us room. There's 2 of them. Move on back.
It's Pat! Pat!
All right, bring him on out.
Pat! Thank God you're here.
East slope, 3rd level. Every timber seemed to buckle at once as they set off a blast above us.
Same as last week. Every time it's the same thing. Move out of the way.
You're not going down there, are you?
If I'd stayed down there where I belong, this might not have happened.
Don't let what Tregellis said get under your hide.
If my kid brother was trapped down there, I'd think of something worse to say than Tregellis said. Adam, you don't have to come down with me.
It's my timber you're using, isn't it?
All right, Bud, let her go.
How do they stand it time after time? It's like living on top of a powder cake waiting for that disaster whistle to blow.
It's part of mining, Ellie. Enter it on the report. Make sure each of the widows gets a usual box of groceries. Yes, sir.
Box of groceries in exchange for a dead husband.
It's company policy. That's a terrible thing. I'm sorry this had to happen tonight. Spoil your party, Ellie. This is ridiculous. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Let's go home and get some sleep.
Daddy, those women won't sleep tonight. They each have a man down there, and so do I. Gil. Oh, Gil, are you all right?
I'm all right.
Do you want to tell them?
Tell them what?
That there's nobody else coming up out of there. Not tonight. Not ever.
How soon can you give me a report?
It'll be on your desk. Cold black figures against a white piece of paper. 5 dead, 2 dying, 5 missing, 14 injured, but no slow up in production, Mr. Holloway. Does that make you happy?
Stop it, Gil.
I'm sick of it.
Gil, you shouldn't have gone down there.
No, that's right. I should have stayed at the party. I'm a superintendent now, and the men I used to work with aren't human beings anymore.
Aren't you being a little bit melodramatic?
Am I? You should have been down there with us. That was melodramatic, too.
I've had my share of mine disasters.
But you don't have to face those men every day or those women. I do.
It's not my job to manage the men.
Your job? Well, haven't you got the guts to stand up to them and order them into a mine that isn't safe enough for a rat?
The Ophir is safe as any mine on the Comstock.
That's saying a lot, isn't it?
Gil, please.
What were you doing down there?
I was checking the timbering.
I've got a man hired to do that.
I know. Philip Dietesheimer. I was hoping to talk with him.
I run the Ophir mine, Adam. You sell me timber for that mine. It's worked out very well for both of us. Suppose we keep it that way. Would you like a brandy? You must be tired, Helene. Come over here. Sit down. Close to me a minute. I want to talk to you about Gil. I'm as fond of Gil as you are. If I didn't think he'd make you a good husband, I'd have fired him instead of promoting him. Gil's a superintendent now. He doesn't have to go underground anymore.
Daddy, those men are his friends. You can't expect him to forget that.
I had to forget it. It's a lesson I had to learn. Stay on your own level. That's my job, and I have to do it. Don't you think I have bosses? My bosses have no faces, no hearts, no souls. But they've got a stock certificate. If I get soft or sentimental, they use it as a club to beat my brains out. I've fought a long time to get what I've got, and I'll fight to keep it.
I believe Gil was thinking about preventing another accident, not about your stockholders.
Honey, believe me, it gets pretty lonely up here on this level. The higher a man stands, the farther he can see. I have to do what I think's best for the most people. Try to understand that.
I am trying to understand it, Dad.
How'd you get into town so early?
I yanked him out of bed, that's why.
Coffee?
No, thanks.
Gil, you still think it'd be worthwhile for me to talk to Dietesheimer?
My future father-in-law doesn't seem to think so. But I still do.
That's why Holloway likes you. You stand up to him.
Hey, who's gonna pay for this?
I don't know. I'm too sleepy to try and figure it out.
I can't figure out who's gonna pay for it on an empty stomach. Better bring me another steak.
Mr. Fenton.
Could I talk to you?
What is it, Tregalis?
Well, last night, my kid brother was down in the mine. I should have known he'd be all right. Well, I said things I shouldn't have.
It's all right, Tregalis. I understand.
Well, I wouldn't want to lose my job, anything like that, you know.
You won't, not over this.
Thanks. Gil? Same old Gil. You ain't changed. And listen, all this talk about shutting down the mine, safety tests and all that, don't you do it, Gil. As long as there's a hole in the ground, me and the boys will go down into it. Wouldn't want to lose no day's pay. Somebody's afraid of getting a rock on top of the head. And, Mr. Cartwright, I don't blame you for poking me in the whiskers. Next time, don't do it so hard.
Have you seen Philip Dietesheimer? Dutchman? I don't understand that one. He's the only man I ever knew who could look a hole straight through you without even seeing you.
Well, has he been around?
He's been down in that hole since 10 minutes after you left last night. Either he comes up for air pretty soon, or he's going to find nobody here to work this hoist when he rings that bell. Will you stay around for a little while?
Take care of this for me, will you, Casey?
Gil. Gil, I've been looking all over for you.
Not now, dear. Adam and I want to go down below and look around for a minute.
If it were another woman, I could face it, but to have a silver mine for a romantic rival.
Hey.
Oh, Gil, please be careful. If anything happened to you.
Off you go. Oh. All right, Lou, let her go.
Good sound timbering, Gil.
But it just isn't holding. Philip Dietesheimer!
It is not usually so. But here in these mines, there's such great variance of temperatures. There's a constant shrinking and expanding of the earth itself. When I took my pick and loosened this hanging wall behind the upright, so...
Caved this in deliberately? You might have been killed, man.
So, the important thing is 5 men were killed last night. You see, Gil, there's an unusual side pressure against these uprights.
And without tower braces to prevent side motion.
Oh, Philip, this is Adam Cartwright. Adam, Philip Dietesheimer.
Mr. Cartwright?
Hadn't you better take some time off, get some rest, have something to eat?
The widows of those men, they have no appetite this morning, Gil. Neither have I. You mentioned tower bracing, Mr. Cartwright. You perhaps worked in construction, no?
Well, I supply the timber for the mines. My father and I, my brothers, we have a ranch.
And what a ranch, Philip. The Ponderosa, 1,000 square miles of it. And wait till you see the house. Adam designed and built it to last 100 years.
Oh?
You must see it.
Yeah. There are so many things in your beautiful country that I must see. But how can I look at beauty when men are dying? Given time as one of the factors, there is no problem in engineering that cannot be solved.
Mr. Dietesheimer, Gil's told me a great deal about you, and, well, I don't mean to be presumptuous, but if you'd care to have me go over your stress calculations with you, what I mean is that if you'd like to use me as a sounding board, I've kept up with my mathematics.
It would mean a great deal to me to have someone to talk with, someone who understood the engineering problem.
Well, I'd be honored, Mr. Dietesheimer.
Well, then you call me Philip, huh? So we do not waste time.
Come in here with your pigs, boys.
Are you all right?
Yeah,
Where's Gil?
he was right behind us.
Can you see him?
No.
Gil? Gil, can you hear me?
Well, what do we do now?
We wait. Just as thousands before us have waited. And we think of many things. That is the final refuge of a man when he's completely alone. He can think.
Get out of the way. Get out of the way. My brother's down there.
Pops.
I just heard about it, Miss Elaine. Don't worry, now. Gil's gonna be all right now. Please don't do that, ma'am. Everything's gonna be all right.
Sorry, Mr. Cartwright. I have orders to let no outsiders go down.
Well, your orders just changed. Let her go, Bo.
Wait a minute, boys. Wait a minute.
Answer them.
Get in there, boys, with your shovels. Get the loose stuff out.
What are you thinking about now?
I was thinking, perhaps after today, we will not let the mine fall on our heads again.
Hope not.
Well, there is a simple way. All we have to do is never again go into a mine. So many people make that decision in life. So very many.
No use, boys. We may as well give up. They don't answer the signal no more. Get back to that wall of rock, but we're too late. They don't answer anymore.
Give me that shovel. Okay, bud, okay. That's good. Give me some light.
It's about time you got here. Gil's back there somewhere.
Adam, there ain't nothing back there but 500 ton of rock.
Let it down. How are you, Mr. Dietersham? All right, Phil, see if you can make it. Got him, horse? Yeah, I got him. Easy, easy. He might have a broken bone.
Here's one of them, boys. Let's get him. Take him out, boys.
Here we are.
You all right?
Yeah.
Here they come.
Gil! Where's Gil?
Miss Elaine, I want to talk to you.
That Gil. He's always the first one down and the last one up. I suppose he's still down there looking around. That's what it is, Hoss, isn't it?
Ma'am, let me take you home.
Oh, no. No, I've got to wait here for Gil. He promised me nothing would happen to him. He promised me. Oh, Hoss, tell me nothing's happened.
Ma'am, I can't lie to you. I can't make it no easier on you.
I've got to see him. I've got to go down. I've got to see him. Don't you understand? I've got to see him. I've got to see him.
Where's Gil?
He's still down there.
Well, go get him, Adam. I want to talk to him.
What I'm trying to tell you is...
What he means is Gil is dead, Daddy.
What?
That's the word he was looking for, dead. But it's a dirty word and no one wants to say it. Not here in this house, not on this level. The stockholders might hear. Dead is a word for men who work down in the ground, not for people like us. We can't talk about a man who's buried under 50 tons of rock, but he's dead just the same. Oh, Johnny.
I'll give her a sedative. You come along. You too.
Gil? Dead? Well, I'll have to hire a new superintendent.
Mr. Holloway, if that's the first thing you thought about, I feel real sorry for you.
I guess that should about do it.
Thanks, Doc.
Mr. Dietershammer, I told you to get some rest. Now, you're pushing yourself much too far.
Would you rest, Doctor, if there were a plague afoot, and that somewhere in that little black bag of yours there was a pill you knew could cure it? Would you rest until you had found that pill? Well, my head is like your little black bag. Somewhere inside it is a pill of information, long forgotten. A solution to these mind disasters. I have to find that pill, Doctor.
Well, you better slow down or I won't be responsible.
Every man is responsible to himself, Doctor. Does your head feel good enough to use?
Let's get to work.
Now.
Mr. Dietershammer, I've been thinking.
Are you an engineer?
Well, no, but...
Then I'm not in the least interested in what you've been thinking. Please go.
Now, wait a minute. This is my home.
At the moment, it is my office, and I want no interruptions. Please. Now. So, we have...
Why ain't you at work?
Mr. Holloway, I refuse to send those men back down.
You refuse?
I believe the same as Gil. Close down a few days. Get a chance to make some proper tests and experiments.
Casey, you're fired.
What?
I said you're fired. Gallis, can you handle Casey's job?
Mr. Holloway, I never did want to see you shut down. Like I said to Gil last time I talked to him. I can get that shift back to work.
See that you do.
Another thing I'd do, Mr. Holloway, I'd order that Dutchman to stay away from the men. He wastes an awful lot of time. I'd tell him to take care of his own work, leave our boys alone.
You're in charge. Go tell him. He's right upstairs.
That is the problem, Adam, and it is increasing every day. The veins of silver grow wider the deeper they go.
I know, and the U-bracing that we use in a narrow stope becomes worthless in a 65-foot wide gallery.
And it is not only the overhead pressure, Adam. There's a constant side pressure as well.
I want to talk to you, Dutchman.
Vertical bracing and cap pieces, certainly. But it would be standing so thick that a man couldn't get through.
I'm in charge now.
We are very busy. And even the tower bracing you suggested.
Listen to me when I'm talking to you. You're going to take orders just like the rest of the men.
But how are you going to get 65-foot timbers down a mine shaft?
And I want you to stay away from the men, hear me? They're down there to work, not to visit with you. And another thing, Dutchman.
I believe in a little formality. Now, where were we? Oh, yeah. There's...
Miss Helene. Miss Helene.
I know you're sorry.
That's not exactly what I was going to say, ma'am. Folks mean well when they say that they're sorry. It's like when my mama was still alive. I remember I used to mash my finger and she'd kiss it and tell me the pain was all gone. It wasn't really. It's just that now when I try to remember the pain, all I can remember is my mama kissing it away.
So I smile bravely and lift my head. And there never was a Gil Fenton in my life.
No. No, you can sometimes forget the pain, but you can't ever forget the love. Never. There's gonna always be a Gil Fenton in your life. I remember I was in love once with a girl. As much in love as a man can be, I reckon. I guess that sounds a little funny coming from me, don't it?
Oh, no, it doesn't, Hoss.
She died. I know that my Pa and Adam and little Joe are sorry. But that just wasn't enough. Not right then, it wasn't.
What did you do?
I talked to God. He told me I was just gonna have to keep on living.
May I have permission to enter your mind, Mr. Tagalis?
All right. Go ahead.
Sir. Adam told me to find you and tell you that number 6 had shifted and that the tower braces were 10 degrees out of plumb, whatever that means.
It means, Horst, that we now know one more thing that will not work. It means also that we must still find that one thing that will work.
Well, he told me I ought to talk you into getting some rest, too.
Well, he may have said it. But he didn't mean for me to do it. But it would be good. So good. Stretch out for a while, close my eyes against the sun, and feel the life of the earth beneath me. But I would feel only the death, Horse. Only the death.
You feel all right, Mr. Dietesheimer?
All right? I do not know. That is a relative question, no? I only know that my head is so full of vertical braces and cross braces and cap pieces and skulls and timbers that my brain is like a bee swarm of unrelated facts, buzzing and churning and working within a hive. A honeycomb. A honeycomb!
Sir?
I have it, Oz, I have it!
You got what?
Go get me some 1-inch boards, soft pine that I can cut with a jackknife. Go bring them to my room. I go get Adam. Why did I not see this, Adam? Each surface bearing on the other. The ratio of strength of each side of a honeycomb to the combined weight of the honey. Gently now, gently. Come. Thank you, Oz.
Now, what in the blaze?
The solution, Mr. Holloway. The solution to every cave-in and slippage problem in the Comstock mines. Boss, please. Clean place on the table. Thank you.
Miss Lean, look here what Mr. Dietesheimer and Adam built. Show them how it works, Mr. Dietesheimer.
Do you mean that's a system of mind bracing?
It's the most perfect system I've ever seen in my whole life.
Are you such an expert?
No, but Mr. Dietesheimer is. Philip, why don't you explain the principle?
You see, Mr.
I can see the principle. Square, open-sided, tower bracing box, bearing equal pressure from all angles. And I suppose as the stope is dug wider, you propose to add another box.
You can add them above, too, and you can even build a floor in it.
Very interesting, gentlemen, and very expensive. We can't use it.
Dad, aren't you even going to consider it?
But look at it, honey. It's a child's toy, a plaything of an impractical dreamer.
You didn't even give them a chance.
A chance to what? Play with toys while I've got a mine to run? Do you think I'm going to rip out the timbering I've got in that mine to try some crazy new idea?
But the timbering system you have is no good.
We've been operating successfully with it for a long time now. Can't you understand I've got stockholders to think about?
Oh, yes, I understand. You and your faceless stockholders. Well, I have somebody to think about, too. Only he had a face and a body and arms to hold me with. And he's buried under 50 tons of rock, and you put him there!
Elaine! Wait a minute. Where are you going?
Where do the rest of the mine widows go?
If you don't listen to me.
I'm through listening to you, Father. And don't forget to send me my box of groceries.
We've been looking for you.
I've been looking for myself, Adam.
There's new models coming along great.
Well, I have created a good thing. But that is all it is. A thing. A handful of smoke. What good is it to write a book if nobody reads it? Or to compose a song if nobody ever sings it? Or to invent a new way of timbering a mine if it is not used?
Don't you worry. It'll be used all right.
But when? When? When another 100 men have died needlessly?
Well, it's such a radical departure from anything we've done before. Just take time to sell it to anyone.
Only the dead have time to wait, Adam. And we are concerned with the living.
Well, the Ophir isn't the only mine on the Comstock. There's the Yellow Jacket, Gould and Curry, and the Mexican. We know the owners. We've sold timber to all of them. All we have to do is sell one of them the idea.
But I am not a fishmonger, Adam. Hawking a product on the streets.
Well, then you let me worry about that end of it. You just finish this new model.
Looks pretty elaborate.
Well, it's quite simple, really. Series of cribs, each surface bearing on the other. Now, that takes care of your side motion, which has been one of your big problems. Now, also, you see, with the wide veins that you're starting to hit, you can timber as you stope in merely by adding another crib.
Now, the same holds true with working up above or down below, which is an impossibility with your present timbering. Now, here you could have an ore chute running diagonally right up here through the sets.
Any idea of the cost?
Well, it really hadn't gone into it. I think Mr. Dietesheimer was more concerned with safety rather than cost.
Yeah, I'd heard that he was pretty much of a dreamer. Well, thanks for showing it to us, Adam.
Hey, ain't you even gonna let him finish telling you about it?
Oh, I've seen enough to recognize the fact that the cost would be prohibitive. I'm afraid you'll have to figure out some other way of selling timber, Adam.
You mean to tell me you think that's all Adam and Mr. Dietesheimer have been doing day and night is figuring out another way to sell timber?
Oh, stay out of it, Hoss.
I won't stay out of it. I don't like what this woodpecker's saying to you.
Oh, really now? We don't have to pretend with each other. We're in the mining business to make money, and you should be able to understand that. No Cartwright ever made a move unless there was $1 in it for him someplace.
Mister, you're the biggest flannel-mouthed liar in the Comstock.
Do you know who I am?
I sure do, and you do too, because I just got through telling you.
My brother isn't the world's finest diplomat, but he's managed to express my own feelings pretty accurately.
Well, it might work. Sure, but the system we're using now can be put in for 1/10 the cost.
Why did Holloway ever hire that Dutchman in the first place?
Oh, now don't sell Holloway short. He hires this safety engineer, and the Crusaders leave him alone.
I know, but now he's come up with this fantastic idea.
You don't find Holloway using it, do you?
Well, is there anybody else we can talk to, Adam?
That's about all of them. Besides, I'm tired of talking.
You ain't gonna give up, are you?
I said I'm tired of talking.
What are we gonna do?
Well, what do the Cartwrights always do when it comes right down to it? We'll do it ourselves.
You mean we're gonna make a big one of these things and stick it down old Holloway's mind without even telling him about it?
Why tell him? He'll know it's there when he sees it tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
I said tomorrow.
Adam, I heard you and Mr. Dietesheimer talking, and them timbers are big, and they gotta be milled and cut. How are you gonna do all that by tomorrow?
Well, now, we own a sawmill, don't we? Now, we'll just give this job to our younger brother and tell him it's impossible to do.
Yeah, that ought to do it. We'll get started first thing in the morning. That's what old Adam said, and we will, too. You wait and see. When my pa and Adam and my younger brother, little Joe, put their head to something, it gets done.
You're very proud of your family, aren't you, Hoss?
Yes, sir, I sure am.
It's a fine thing to have a strong family.
Yes, sir. Paul's always kept us mighty close together. You see, we just half brothers.
So?
Yes, sir. My Paul's had a terrible lot of tragedy in his life.
Tragedy? Yeah. But this has made of him a finer man. And it's helped draw you all closer together as a family, no?
Yes, sir. I reckon it has.
The girl, Helene, we must try to make her see this. Hoss. Right now, she sees only her own loss. But nothing is lost, ever. And nothing is ever destroyed. The miners who were killed because of improper timbering in these mines, they have found a new method of timbering, Hoss. I did not do it. They did. I am only the instrument that carried out the plan. No more than that.
Mr. Dietesheimer, folks are gonna remember you for an awful long time. Miss Helene.
Sit down, Miss Holloway. Please.
What's the matter?
Matter? I've been walking around looking into the faces of women who've lost their husbands in the mines. I've been searching their eyes, wondering if they know my father is a murderer.
Ma'am, you shouldn't ought to talk like that. Not about your own Paul.
No.
Maybe he ain't done all he could do, but at least he's tried. He hired Mr. Dietesheimer.
But he hasn't let him do anything, and he won't.
Well, it don't really make no difference if he don't, because we're gonna do it anyhow.
What do you mean?
Paul and Adam and little Joe are up there in the hills right now at the sawmill, milling the timber we're gonna put down that mine. So Mr. Dietesheimer here can make the tests he wants to make.
Does my father know about this?
Well, I reckon Adam sort of forgot to tell him.
Do you really think that my father and the other mine owners would let you do this?
Ma'am, we ain't gonna charge them for it. Besides, how are they gonna stop us?
Stop you? Haas, don't you understand? They can hire 50 men with clubs to stop you if they want to.
What they gonna do a thing like that for?
I'm afraid this does go much further than a test installation, Hoss. Once it's in there and the men see it, they won't be satisfied with any other system of timbering.
Mr. Dietesheimer, do you want that timber down there in that mine?
Yeah, very much, Hoss.
Well, we're gonna put it down there for you. And if any of them fellas try to stop us, well, I reckon that'll be my business. I really think they'd do it. I reckon you must know them better than I do.
I don't see my father with them.
There's a rumor around that you plan to do some special timbering in Mr. Holloway's mine.
Well, this is one time that a rumor's correct.
You Cartwrights don't own this mine. You've got no business here.
Now, you don't own this mine either, mister. Why don't you let Mr. Holloway tell me?
We haven't been able to find Mr. Holloway, but his interests are ours, and we're here to see that they're protected. Take him out there.
I'm still in charge here.
Andrew, we couldn't find you. We came here to protect your interests.
I can take care of my own interest, and that's just what I've been doing.
But they were planning to build some of those monkey cages down in your mine.
I'm aware of what they're planning to do. I'm helping them to do it.
Why, Andrew, have you lost your senses?
No, I haven't lost my senses. I've just found them. How long since any of you have been down in one of your mines? Well, maybe you should, gentlemen. I just did, and I don't like what I saw. I don't know if Mr. Dietesheimer's system of timbering will work or not, but he's going to get a chance to try it.
Adam and the other boys will unload that lumber right where you want it. If you need me, well, just holler.
This is fine. You go now, huh? Thank you.
Are you satisfied, Philip?
It is still an impractical man's dream, Adam. An invention is never completed until it is put to the test of serving the purpose for which it was designed. You wait for me up above, huh? I would like to stay here and look at this for a while.
Oh, no, you don't.
What's the matter?
I found your bag. The powder, you didn't do a good job of hiding it.
It's too dangerous, Adam.
I'm game if you are.
I don't want any more men killed.
Neither do I. But I would like to be with you. Sort of a promise I made to Gil.
All right. We'll see this thing through together. This is good. Now for the final test.
You're wasting our time, Holloway.
You better take a good look at it because you're going to see a lot of this kind of timbering from now on.
Not in my mind, you won't.
Well, this is it.
Good luck, Philip.
Come. Mr. Holloway, you should not be here.
Still, my man, and these gentlemen are a little hard to convince.
You don't understand. We're making a test.
Don't test it too hard or your monkey cage will fall down on your head.
I hope not, gentlemen. I believe not. But we will soon know. We've set a blast to test it.
I can imagine you're being down here with a blast about to go off.
Your workmen do it every day, don't they?
Oh, yes, but with
your present system of timbering. Well, you're standing under some of it now, gentlemen. You may stay here if you feel safer. I prefer to stay over here.
So do I.
Why, you fool, we'll all be killed.
Boys, the old timbering is right behind you. Go ahead, stay under it.
You better hurry.
I think this held up rather well, don't you, gentlemen?
Very impressive. But I still won't hold still for it.
And why not?
Isn't it pretty obvious? This man undoubtedly has a patent on his timbering system and plans to rob us blind collecting royalties.
I'm afraid I'm not so wise as you. I do not know the dollar and cent worth of a human life. I only know it is very dear. I have no patent, no desire to charge royalty. If my invention saves human lives, surely that is payment enough for any man.
Wait a minute, Philip. Ladies and gentlemen, we've just made a practical test of the new Dietisheimer system of timbering. Any of these gentlemen here can attest to the fact that it was a complete success. I'm closing the Ophir till it's completely re-timbered with the Dietisheimer square sets. Every man will be paid his regular wages while the work goes on.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's the man who's put an end to all the mine cave-ins on the Comstock, Mr. Philip Dietisheimer. Every mine owner will have to put in square sets now, you watch. This whole town will be sitting on one big honeycomb. It's a great thing you've done, Philip.
Did it together.
Well, listen, I'm hungry. Ain't you starved?
On the contrary, horse. Right now, I feel very full.
Mr. Dietisheimer, I told you once that folks is gonna remember you for an awful long time. And they would, too, if they could remember your name, but it's so dang blasted hard to pronounce.
Don't worry about that, horse. Names are never very important. Anyway, it's easier to pronounce the Dutchman. Come on, let's get some supper, huh?
Sure hot work pushing all that cattle up into that high country.
That water sure does look good, too. You know, the wait to wash off some of this grit.
Careful, little Joe. That's the closest you've come to taking a bath in months. Who are you?
Never mind who I am. Just get off my land.
Your land? What are you talking about, mister?
You know what I'm talking about. You ain't deef, are you?
No, we ain't deef, but are you sure you ain't got just a little bit too much sunshine, old-timer?
Look, well, maybe you kind of got your directions mixed up.
All right, now, don't anybody move.
What do you want to go do a thing like that for, old-timer?
I know my rights. The law says that I can shoot trespassers on sight.
Look, you're on the Ponderosa.
I bought this land, mister, and there ain't nobody going to take it away from me.
Bought it?
I don't want to kill anybody, but I will if you push me.
Nobody's trying to push you, mister, but what makes you think this land is yours?
I said I bought it. $25 hard money. I got the bill of sale to prove it.
I hereby sell you all the land between the east shore of Lake Tahoe and Sun Mountain for $25 cash. Signed, Henry T.P. Comstock.
Henry Comstock.
Old timer, I guess you were just one of the many who were taken in by our dear friend, Mr. Comstock. I guess you didn't know him any too well, did you?
I don't have to know him. I got the bill of sale there to prove it.
A bill of sale? That old thief is selling the territory in Nevada if he could get away with it.
Looks like he did, too. You remember the first time we ever seen him, little Joe?
Oh, that wild-eyed old mule of his?
Yeah. That black stove pipe hat that made him look pious as a preacher.
You know how many men have draped this tree? 28 men and 1 woman. We figure to make it a nice round figure like 30. All right, let's get it over with.
Whoa, whoa! What the name of creation's your hurry? Mind if I have a last word with my friend?
Friend? You haven't got a friend within 50 miles of Hangtown.
Lord, I'm ready whenever you say the word, but Lord, I hope you'll forgive me if I don't have time to tell these boys about the big new movement going on around here.
What in thunder big movement you talking about?
Change the name of Hangtown to Placerville.
You boys hear of any such goings on around here?
Lord, looks like you left these boys up in the hills too long. You know the first law they passed was there'd be no more hangings within the city limits.
City limits? How far are they?
Clear to the top of the Sierra Nevada mountains.
That's a good 100 miles.
Mighty ambitious town, Placerville. Lord, you didn't tell these boys nothing. You didn't tell them there's mighty touchy people around here, too. Especially about any unnecessary hanging.
Hanging you is about the most necessary thing a hard rock miner could ever do. So we'll escort you the 100 miles over the Sierra Nevada and hang you there.
I thank you.
Because, Mr. Henry T.P. Comstock, you're about the crookedest, slimiest, most double-dealing, weaseling, lying, thieving, no-good claim jumper that ever hit the state of California.
It took 4 hours to bring that thing down.
That isn't such a long time, little Joe. That one, it took 400 years for it to grow.
400 years. Well, that was even before Columbus sailed out of Spain to discover America.
Us, there were trees that were living and growing in this forest. They were old when Christ pulled fish out of the Sea of Galilee.
Don't cut unless you plant.
That's right, Hoss. That's why we're here. Not just to take from the land, but to give.
Yes, sir.
Can you see it? 100 years from now, standing tall against the sky. Plant it, Adam.
Sure, Paul.
Well, little Ponderosa, see you around in a couple of 100 years when you're a big Ponderosa.
thousands of people who one day will come to this land. Be mighty thankful for what we've done.
There's timber up there to build whole new cities. Launch fleets of ships.
Hear that, horse? Older brother Adam is planning to build that Yankee fleet of his again.
Yeah, well, it's gonna take a mite more water than we got hereabouts to float it in, little Joe.
Water? Oh, now, you don't think Adam is planning to sail his ships on just plain old water, do you?
I guess you two mountain boys haven't heard. Just so happens I'm planning on ships that sail across sand.
I remember walking across about 600 miles of it the last time Paul sent me to Salt Lake City to file in claim papers.
How would you like to be able to do it in under 3 days?
Oh, come on now. From here to Salt Lake City in 3 days? How you gonna do that? I think he's gonna fly through the air, horse.
Maybe 2 days.
Oh, well, maybe 1 day.
You talking about a railroad, son?
I'd be talking about a railroad, Pa.
Dreams are mighty good things to have, son. You know what it takes to build a railroad?
Track. Track that runs across sand, round mountains, and over rivers. And track ain't nothing but a lot of rail and a bed of ties to lay it on.
You cut down all these wonderful trees to provide ties for a railroad?
I'd cut them down, Pa. And I'd put new ones in their place.
Man, that sounds like a rifle shot.
On the California side.
Sounded to me like it come off the Ponderosa.
Dorothy, if you don't move faster, you're going to be key witness to a hanging.
So he thinks he can sneak away on that old mule.
Yeah, come
How do you feel about 4 men chasing 1 man on a mule?
Oh, maybe they have a reason for chasing him. I don't care for the odds.
We sure could improve him, Paul.
We sure could sweeten them up some at that, Paul.
Yeah, we better stop them, too, before they stir up the Paiutes.
Last time somebody stirred them up, 3 families of settlers paid for it with their lives. All right, boys, let's sweeten them.
Adam?
Yeah.
How far over you reckon them fellers are?
About a half a mile, maybe.
Yeah. It's just about what I figured.
Hey, horse, even with that Sharp's buffalo gun you got, you don't figure you can hit a target at half-mile distance.
You watch that feller's hat.
What the thunder was that? Dorothy, that shot come from the direction I thought it did? Ah.
Oh, so let me see that little old squirrel gun of yours for a minute.
Sure, Adam.
See that, Paul?
Couldn't be Comstock. He didn't even have a rifle.
Now, little Joe, what was all this talk about a half a mile?
Good shoot. You want to try it, little Joe?
Yeah, I better.
You right sure now?
Well, I think I better if I want to stay living with this family. It's a mighty fine old gun you got there, huh?
Mighty good shooting.
Just the kind of thing any New Orleans boy learns to do by the time he learns to walk.
Take a crack at it, Paul.
Well, if I have to. Just to show you young whippersnappers.
Go ahead, you can't miss now.
Give me that rifle.
Mighty fine shooting.
We gotta get out of here, Heck.
Them ain't men, they're devils.
Where are they shooting from? That's what I want to know.
I don't know where it's coming from, but it's the best darn shooting I ever saw.
Good shooting, all right, but it's done by men like us, not devils.
Thank you for looking favorably in the countenance of this miserable sinner, Lord. I sure do appreciate it. I sure do. And to prove it, I won't lie or steal or ever jump any other fellow's claim again as long as I live. Strike me dead if I do, Lord. You strike me dead.
Heck, I don't like this place. Feels haunted to me. Why don't we go back to California?
Let's go back.
We only came here to get rid of that Comstock fellow in the first place.
Not get rid of him, hang him. I promised myself to see that old thief hanged, and I mean to keep that promise.
Yeah, I think we scared those fellows off. They're heading back to California.
They are. Maybe they aren't.
Quite an exhibition of skill, my friends. Truly the best exhibition of the fine art of rifle shooting I've ever seen. Since the days of that esteemed gentleman, Quincy P. Strongheart. Yes, I can see it all just as though it were yesterday. My boyhood chum, Quincy P., raised at my side in sight of the stormy and treacherous waters of Lake Nipishama.
What in the tarnation you talking about, mister?
What'd you do to stir up all that excitement?
It's probably one of them claim jumpers they run out of California.
Lad, I beseech you, don't mention that evil place to me. I, Henry T.P. Comstock, who have roamed the four corners of the earth, have sailed every shore and coastline of the seven seas, never want to hear the name of that foul-sounding place again as long as I live.
Why will you run out?
I? You think I, Henry Comstock, was run out of California?
Run out and tell them never to come back. How many claims did you jump?
Did you hear that? Yeah, not you. Lord, right where I stand, if I, Henry Comstock, ever jumped, or even thought of jumping any other gold miner's claim, strike me dead. Not yet, Lord. I know I'm a miserable sinner, and certain things have been known to cling to my fingers, but I'm not ready yet, Lord, to meet the hellfires of retribution. Not yet, Lord. Not yet.
Hellfires of retribution, hear that, little Joe?
I figure if a man's going to get religion, he might as well get it in a hurry.
Mr. Comstock, before your time is up, I think there's room for at least one good meal in there to help see you through that final journey.
Do my ears deceive me, or did I hear you mention food? Gentlemen, when do we eat? You too, Dorothy. Dorothy, food. Come. Gentlemen, I have feasted at the tables of kings and dined in the company of millionaires, but never, I repeat, never have I enjoyed such a meal as this.
This is Hop Sing's doing, Mr. Comstock. In all of your traveling, did you ever meet a finer cook?
My good man, worthy descendant of Confucius that you might be, I must compliment you on having acquired a skill and wizardry in the culinary arts unmatched in all this land.
He no like the lip?
No, he likes him, Hop Sing.
Oh, very good. I bring more. Got plenty more.
Yeah, you do that, Hop Sing. You do that.
Mr. Comstock, do you have any late news of my good friend, Captain John Sutter?
Sir, you're referring to Captain John Sutter of the Sacramento Valley?
Are there any other Captain John Sutters?
Well, the poor man, he's a cause of sadness and melancholy to all of his friends.
What's the matter? Is he getting worse?
Not only getting worse, he's almost gone, as has his mind. Young man, pass that plate of sweet corn, please.
You mean you're still hungry?
I haven't seen corn as smooth and golden as this since I was a boy on the shores of Lake Semihuchi.
I thought you said over on the mountain, Lake Nipishama.
Nipishama one side, Semihuchi on the other. Lots of lake in that neck of the woods.
Well, just what neck of the woods was that?
You boys familiar with foreign lands?
No, we've never been out of the country. Why?
Oh, it's a shame that you can't know too much about wonderful country of my childhood, Canada.
Oh, well, this Napotchki and Skauchi Hiwachi, whatever you call it. Are they in Canada?
On the other side of the Frangatang Mountains.
Mr. Comstock, what about my friend Captain Sutter?
Poor man. It's a pity what's happened to him. You wouldn't recognize him anymore.
How bad is he, Mr. Comstock?
Not just one more? Just a small one?
Later. In fact, I think we've all had enough to eat for now. Hop-Sing?
Yes, Mr. Cartwright. You like a dinner?
Yes, dinner was very good, Hop-Sing, very good.
Very good, Hop-Sing, and I do thank you.
Very good.
We'll have a coffee in here.
Yes, Mr. Cartwright.
Mr. Comstock, brandy?
Yes, don't mind if I do. Thank you, sir. You're very kind. Nice little place you got here. Reminds me of the time I was the guest of Queen Victoria at Buckingham Palace.
I'll ride on down to the sawmill, Paul. Have them bring those trees in we cut down.
Fine, Adam, fine. Oh, Adam, do you need any help?
Well, come to think of it, we are a little short-handed. How would you like to work for us, Mr. Comstock? We pay good money, $1 American a day.
Work? What kind of work is that?
Oh, hauling, cutting timber. Good, healthy outdoor work from sun up to sundown.
Sun up? Oh, I'm afraid that's not the kind of work I do.
Just what kind of work do you do, Mr. Comstock? I'd be real anxious to know.
Yeah, well, I'm a merchant. Yes, that's what I am, a merchant.
Oh, a merchant?
Yeah. Sometimes I buy, sometimes I sell. It all depends on the state of business, among other things. Very good health, sir.
Among other things, Mr. Comstock, do you ever indulge in something called panning for gold?
You mean you folks don't got enough folks who pan for gold?
I told you I planted the first field of grain with John Sutter in the Valley of the Sacramento. Together, we planted those hillsides with vines, with fruit-bearing trees. You know what they did to that land, those locusts, those ravagers who answered the cry of gold in California? They tore out those vines. They chopped down those trees. They trampled that wheat. Is it any wonder that John Sutter sits on his porch now, staring into the sun by the hour, recognizing no one, seeing nothing?
You know about him, don't you?
I know all about him. And that's why I came to the Ponderosa, my sons and I. And that's why I made my vow that never would these 1,000 square miles of God-made country be delivered into the hands of those spoilers, those destroyers. Mr. Comstock, if I so much as see a man digging for gold anywhere on my land, I'll shoot him at sight.
Gold? You don't mean there's gold up here in western Utah, do you?
Well, that's what we keep telling those fellers over at Washoe Diggings, Mr. Comstock, that they're just wasting their time. There ain't enough gold over there to fool with.
Hey, you think they'd listen to us? I don't know what there is about a gold miner. I think they must be 3/4 loco and the other 4 stupid.
You said they found gold?
What I said was that they didn't hardly find enough to fool with.
Yeah, they pan all day, come up with just about enough to buy themselves a bottle of whiskey.
Now, if you were a whiskey merchant, Mr. Comstock, you should do rather well down at Washoe.
Washoe? That's the name of the place, huh? Washoe.
That's what they call it. 20 miles due east of the Ponderosa. Where are you going, Mr. Comstock?
Dinner was fine, gentlemen. I hate to rush, but duty calls.
Duty? What kind of duty?
Those miners at Washoe. They're just waiting to buy and sell. Farewell, gentlemen.
The fool. The gold-crazed fool.
Paul. Maybe I ought to follow him. Those fellas from California might still be after him, be trying to kill him.
Probably for good cause, Hoss. Now, I thought you worried about 4-legged animals.
Well, I reckon he's sort of like a 4-legged animal himself. You might say like a jackass.
Hey, can I go too, Pa? Every Saturday night there's a dance on a Dutch piece at the Diggings.
A dance? Or do they have any women to dance with?
Yeah, they got 2 or 3. They're pretty big, so some gals that do the miners' washing.
You ought to see them, Paul. They're big and raw bones as Texas steers, but they can dance.
Well, Western Utah's growing up. All right, Hoss, you go after our friend the fool, and little Joe, and you go up the Dutch beats to your dance. Adam, what about you? What do you want?
Hey, come on with us, Adam.
No, I don't want anything, Pa. I got work to do. But, little Joe, I might just drop by and take a look at one of those big raw-bone women.
Hey, why don't you do that, Adam? As a matter of fact, I'll save one for you. The biggest and rawest of the bunch.
Yes, I bet you will.
Boy, I sure would like to surprise him with a pretty little gal.
There ain't no pretty gals in 100 miles here, little Joe.
Hey, but I'm just thinking about one. Just one.
Paul, you sure his ma wasn't part jackrabbit?
Hoss, his ma was all woman. So was Adam's. So was yours. They left me sons, boy. They left me sons.
Rich man, poor man, beggar man, thief. Which one do you think he is, Hoss?
I reckon he's most likely been nearly all of them at one time or another, little Joe.
Still think those fellas from California might be after him?
I don't know. But if they are, he's gonna need some mighty fast help.
Yeah, maybe so. And I got a real strange feeling that old crowbait can take care of just about anything comes along.
Eat hearty.
I guess the good Lord watches over fools and little children.
Well, just in case the good Lord forgets for a minute, I think I better trail along after him and keep an eye peeled for trouble. I'll see you at the diggings tonight. You be sure and save me some of that tarantula juice, you hear?
Now, when I get to the diggings, I ain't gonna have time for any tarantula juice.
You stay out of that Paiute country. You remember what Paul said about stirring them up?
Hoss, what the heck would I want with any old Paiute?
Comstock, did you hurt yourself?
Nothing happened, my boy, nothing at all. We Comstocks are made of steel. Yes, I can remember Grandpappy the ripe age of 93. Chewing iron bars and spitting out nails.
Yeah, I reckon you're all right at that. On the way you fell back there, I could have sworn you broke something.
Son, you're looking at a man who did break something. His link with the past. How long has all this been going on?
Well, feller's been fooling around these mountains for years. Digging up one side and then down the other. Fighting that blue stuff over there, they call it.
Blue stuff? Never heard of it. What's that?
Well, I don't reckon anybody rightly knows. Something that gums up something fierce. Makes it hard to get at the gold.
Gold. Yeah, the gold. Like the sound of that word, son. It's like music to my ears. Yes, sir. From now on, I intend to confine all my valuable time to the Comstock lode.
The Comstock lode? What's that?
Everything that meets the eye, son. Everything that meets the eye.
You just got here. How can you even think about naming all this after yourself when you only just got here?
Son, that just goes to show you how wrong a man can be. Because I got the feeling that I've been here practically all of my life. Greetings, gentlemen. Henry T.P. Comstock brings you greetings and salutations. Did you gentlemen file a legal claim for this particular piece of land?
Legal claim? Now, what kind of a question is that?
Simple enough question, friend. You didn't file a claim, you're trespassing on my property. I'm requesting you to move on.
Oh, Mr. Comstock, you can't do a thing like that. You only just got here.
Son, the law's the law. The law says if a man don't file a claim, he ain't got any more right than a tinker.
Now, you wait a minute. You just wait a minute. We filed a claim more than a month ago. Up at Dutch Pete's, we did it.
Dutch Pete's? Sounds like a purveyor of the old evil eye. Now, if you file this claim in a legal-like courthouse...
Dutch Pete's legal-like courthouse is good enough for us, mister. And give me back that pan. Blue stuff. Work and shake all day. Ain't got nothing to show for it but this damn blue stuff.
Is this a private conversation, friend, or could you use a little company?
Where'd you come from?
I'll ask the questions, friend. How big a claim you got here?
Clear to the head of the mountain. And all of it ain't words I...
Don't say it. Think it, but don't say it. Quite a good-sized claim. How much gold?
Gold? Say gold? I tell you, mister, there ain't nothing around here but this dang blue stuff.
Loud. How'd you like to have yourself a partner?
Partner? In what?
Your claim, friend. Clear to the top of the mountain. Tell you what I'll do. I'll give you $17 American.
$17? But I tell you, mister, all this dang blue stuff ain't worth a nickel.
$17, my good man. It's my final offer.
So I'll take it, mister. Mister, you just bought yourself into half of this claim. $17, huh? Wait till I tell this to the boys at Dutch Pete's tonight.
Partner, there's something else you're going to do at Dutch Pete's tonight, too. Now, at properly arranged time. I want you to break... You following me, friend?
You brave man. You ride into Paiute village alone.
Chief Winnemucca, I believe you know my father, Ben Cartwright.
I know, Father.
I think you know me, too, and my brothers, Horace and Adam. Matter of fact, Chief, didn't you trade Pa this Pinto pony for a buffalo gun?
You from high up on mountain. Why you come here?
Well, I brought you a little present, Chief. Pretty nice color, would you say?
You bring this for me?
Well, not exactly. It's for your daughter.
When you see Saratucci?
It was just a little while back down at the river. She's taking a bath. And now, hold it, Chief. She's more than a mile away. Just one of many women.
The knife. Other women, much big, plenty fat?
Well, I wouldn't know, Chief. I didn't look at the other women. And what about this material? Got it from a peddler across the mountains from Sacramento. Said it was genuine silk.
Not very strong, not much good.
Yeah, well, Chief, it's for a dress, not a horse blanket.
Saratucci!
Now you look like a real princess, ma'am. What do you think, Chief? Sure fine tasting meat, Chief. What is it?
Rattlesnake.
It's very, very good.
We have a lot. You eat more.
Well, no thanks, Chief. I'm not a very big eater. How about showing me that Appaloosa horse you were trying to sell me?
I bring horse. You eat more. Very good.
Yeah, sure, Chief. Oh, please, no thank you, ma'am. I'm not a very big eater. Hey, you know how to make this into a dress? Into a dress? Here, look. See it? Yeah, well, see what I mean here? Now, yeah, well, look, now, it doesn't look too good on me. Look, you try it. Sort of, yeah, you do it. That's it. That's... Yeah. Yeah, you're getting the idea, Princess. Yeah, that looks nice. Hey, now listen, there's a dance down at the Washoe Diggings. A dance? You don't know dance? A dance. Dance, dance. There, you know? You like to dance? Yeah, well, good, so do I. Now listen, don't tell Chiefy, all right? Yeah, good, because he'd scalp me if he knew what I had in mind. Now, you meet me where the river meets the meadow. Just beyond the waterfall. Then, Princess, you and I are gonna have ourselves a dance. Yeah. Yeah, Chief, that's what I call a horse.
Walk on, be on your toes. Always that swing, that gal, everybody swing. Now combination back to tails and walk is what you do. Now ladies just sit there, boom a little bit, from the outside, and ladies go right, gentle go left.
Oh, howling snakes and ringtail screamers. That's what I call a real hunk of woman.
Hey, who little Joe brung to the party?
Innkeeper, bring me one of those. Never mind.
Young fella, I come from Virginia, which, as you can no doubt hear, is a pretty well-known fact hereabouts.
You drunken coot! You don't even know where Virginia is.
The Old Dominion, sir, the fairest of all the 35 states. Land where I was born, sir. Born and bred.
And been soaking up to your teeth in corn liquor ever since.
I know you're from Virginia.
The Old Dominion, sir, the fairest
You
place
wouldn't say that, friend. You ever seen the sunset on Lake Tomahawker? Oh, that's the prettiest lake. Where'd you get the girl, son?
The girl?
Hey, she's a real looker.
Oh, well, Princess Sarah. Gentlemen. Gentlemen and ladies. I'd like to present to you the Princess Saratucci, Princess Sarah for short, daughter of Chief Winnemucca of our friendly neighbors, the Paiutes.
Sir? Do I understand you to mean you were reckless enough to take this Paiute gal away from her kinfolk and bring her here?
Excuse me, I just remembered I ordered a drink. Paiute's a silly young fool. Innkeeper, give me a... No, never mind.
Remember what Paul said about him stirring up them Paiutes?
Little brother, what you mean about stirring up the Paiutes, and what I mean about stirring up the Paiutes, is two entirely different stirring ups. Princess, may I have the next dance? Pardon me, ma'am.
Bye, everybody. Grab your partner. We're going to do the Virginia Reel.
Now forward again, left elbow swing, all the way back, place again. Forward,
in the bed, Brand. Chicken up dough. And a do-she-do.
See what I mean, little Joe? Fat one is a skunk.
Hey, Comstock's right. See the looker, boy. Because I prepare them right in the tuna and broader in the beef.
Comstock, you like a dance?
Dance? Yeah. Oh, dance, yes. I'll tell you, Hoss, I hurt my leg in the war at Lake Montego.
Well, how about one with me?
Yeah. Oh, with you? Oh, well, that's different. Excuse me.
Yeah, let her go, Hoss.
Son, I'll trade you Jenny here and throw in 5 ounces of gold dust. Anytime you want to switch partners.
Princess, you sure are beautiful. No, you really are. I don't know if this has ever happened to you before, man, but you're so darn pretty.
You take Saratucci away.
Well, I didn't exactly take her away, Chief. I just asked her to go to a dance with me.
What you do? You call this dance?
I guess I did get a little carried away, Chief, but she's a mighty pretty girl.
She Paiute girl. She marry him. Lean knife.
Ah, congratulations, friend. Haven't been to a wedding for a long time. You know, I had an uncle once, Uncle Jonah. Not the one that got himself swallowed by the whale. No, sir, he's a different fellow entirely. He's my mother's brother. One that never did a day's lick of work in his life. Did manage to get himself married, though. 7 different times.
Mr. Comstock.
Yeah?
I think you've done enough talking for one night.
Well, I ain't had a chance to kiss the bride yet.
My sons seek no trouble with the Paiutes, Chief Winnemucca. That one is young, foolish. He will be punished if he's done anything wrong. But he will be punished by me, not by anyone else.
He is your son.
Yes, Chief. And she is your daughter. Take her home.
You know, the thing I like about you younger brothers, you don't care how big a mess you get yourself into as long as someone else gets you out of it.
Yeah, well, you know something, older brother? I just knew you'd be here in time.
Just in time to march you back home. Now get.
Now, wait a minute, Paul. We can't go yet. Adam here ain't even had a dance. Now, where'd that old big fat gal go to?
Why, you horse-faced, spindle-legged old sidewinder, I said I was the one buying the lady a drink.
Next time I want a bath, friend, I'll arrange to have you talk at me. Innkeeper, pour this young lady a shot.
Don't you touch that, ma'am. That stuff will poison you. Bartender, pour the little lady a drink of your best whiskey, the kind that we drink down in Virginia.
My dear young lady, I've traveled the four corners of the earth, sailed the seven seas. I'm here to tell you the swell ain't Reagan, Virginia will ride a skunk's gut.
Well, that's what I like about you. You sure drink whiskey like a lady. Adam, I know she's a little bit on the heavy side, but every bit of her sure can dance. Fiddler, this is Saturday night. Let's have a little music.
A ledge 50 foot wide, a solid ledge of gold.
It's a bonanza!
Where, Pike? Where?
Pike! We're your friends and we tell you where it is.
Up 6 Mile Canyon, head of the mountain, you dash.
Let's go!
Where you think? I'm rich, boys. I'm rich. I'm rich. You know what that means, boys? I'm rich.
Listen to me, man. Listen to me. Thank you.
Well, hurry up. What's on your mind?
Just this. I hate to break your hearts, but all that gold out there, all that big strike, that's all on my land. Every bit of it's on my land.
Your land?
Yeah.
When did you stake a claim to it?
This afternoon, friend. Ask my partner there, Mr. Pike. We're gonna call it the Comstock Lode.
Is that true, Pike? You sell this old horse thief part of your claim?
Now, wait a minute. Show you what kind of a guy Henry T.P. Comstock is. I'm gonna cut each and every one of you in on a fabulous Comstock load for $100 a piece American. Cash on the barrelhead. It's all right, friend, it's all right.
But it's gold. I really found gold.
Your friend, we'll talk about it later.
It's gold, can't you see? It's gold.
Yes,
Pike, this is gold. It's really gold. It's the richest I've ever seen in here. I just given it away. I didn't know. I didn't know.
Anybody want his money back? I'll give anyone double the money. Just say the word.
You want it all for yourself, you old money grabber.
Now we want to be rich, too. Now, you hear? Now, you get out of the way.
Follow me, men. I'll show you where the richest pot is.
Don't forget the best friend and partner you ever had.
Yeah.
Let me, Pike, wait for you.
Yeah, I'll wait for all the Jimmy.
Just so it won't be a total loss, I hereby baptize this place Virginia!
That's not the way to do it, boys.
Oh, shut up, you old
No,
hardliner.
this is going to be a great place someday. Fortunes will be made here. We'll make fortunes so great we're going to need help counting our money. So it ought to have a fitting name. Shouldn't just call it Virginia. We ought to call it, Virginia City.
Hey, look who just showed up.
Did you hear him? They found gold.
Yeah, I hear him. Those are guys after Mr. Comstock.
They're not even thinking of Henry Comstock now. They're thinking of only one thing: gold. Gold will do to men.
You don't even feel like going with them. It's
So do I, Little Joe. It's funny what gold do to a man, ain't it?
So what it did to John Sutter's dream in the Valley of Sacramento. Let's go home. Well, there you have it. The story of Henry T.P. Comstock.
He sure fooled everybody here, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. But I guess most of all, he fooled himself. That claim he jumped. You know, they've taken millions of dollars worth of pure silver out of there. And would you believe it? Old Henry sold that claim for, what, $11,000.
Hearing that, I don't feel so bad about that worthless piece of paper there.
Worthless? Well, I wouldn't say it's exactly worthless. So you paid $25 hard money for it. What do you say, boys? Don't you think it'd be worth $25 to have a memento of our dear departed friend?
You know, I bet that old crowbait's still jumping claims.
Here you are, old-timer. $25 and a little more.
Well, thank you kindly.
Let's go, boys.
Take it easy, old-timer.
Yeah.
We'll see you, old-timer.
Yeah.